Today's session. Oh, now. Welcome to those of you who are joining live and for those of you who will be joining on the recording. So remembering that during our sessions, everything we do needs to be pain and strain free. So pushing or getting yourself to a deep stretch is really good, but we're never pushing into pain or strain. Feeling our muscles working is also really, really lovely, but again, keeping it comfortable. I always suggest when people are not sure about kind of how hard or how to push themselves or what level to exercise at, I would always suggest using your breath as your guide. Okay, so if you notice that you're holding your breath and waiting for the exercise to be over, then maybe you're pushing a bit too hard. And equally, if you feel suddenly like your breathing is very erratic, that may also be a sign that you're pushing too hard. So what we're wanting is for the breath to remain rhythmic and steady. Okay, so using your breath as your guide is such a great tool. So for our session today, we're going to need a yoga strap, a cushion to go under your head, or pillow or folded blanket under your head. I like to lie down on a sheepskin just to make myself more cozy. So I just want you to really create yourself a cocoon, okay? A little sanctuary on your mat. So making sure there's some space around you. There might be some postures when we're standing and doing some balance work. So you might want to be near something that you could hold on to. I've got a chair here today, and also like I could hold on to the windowsill, etc. So just noticing what you've got around you. And yeah, we might use some yoga blocks as well. So they're a lovely prop to have with you. So a couple of those or some sturdy kitchen rolls work really well. So let's come down into lying. So we're going to come down through side lying. So just gently lowering yourself down on your side and then coming to lie on your back in semi-supine. So semi-supine is when we have our feet hip width apart. Our knees are pointing towards the ceiling. Our feet are flat on the floor. Okay. And you might want to just gently put your hands onto your belly and your elbows come out to the sides. It's also quite nice to tuck the shoulder blades in and under, if that makes sense. It's kind of a weird thing, but it kind of feels really lovely to open the chest a little bit more. So just to talk a little bit about semi-supine, also known as a position of functional rest. So it's really beautiful just to spend some time like this with our head supported, with enough support under your head that your head, neck and spine are in alignment. Checking that your head's not getting pushed forward and you've got a kind of a collapsed feeling in the front of your throat. And equally, it doesn't feel like your head's falling backwards. So just noticing if you've got the right level of support under your head there. And how are your shoulders feeling? So does it feel like your shoulders can relax into the floor? If you have a lot of tightness in the front of the chest, it might also be nice to put support underneath your shoulders so that then you're kind of bringing the floor up to meet you. So when we talk about functional rest, it's because this is actually a very therapeutic posture that we're in. So your abdominal contents has lots of space to move now. So there's not that kind of squashed sensation that we get when we're sitting, when we may be like in the car, or even when we're side lying. Maybe if you sleep on your side, there is that kind of contraction or less space in the abdominal area. So when we lie like this, we're giving more space to the digestive tract. So you're going to be really supporting your digestion here. There's also more space for your lungs. So you're going to be able to take nice, deeper breaths. So maybe let's just take a moment to take some deeper breaths now that we have more space in the front of the body. So if your hands are on your belly, feeling your belly rise as you inhale. Feeling the belly fall away as you exhale. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls away. So with your out breath, you might want to bring in a little bit of a sigh. So as you sigh out, maybe allowing yourself to really visualize any cares or worries that are on your playing on your mind, seeing if you can exhale them with that sighing breath. Can you let them go? With the out breath, can you let go of what maybe happened before today's session? Can you let go of what you're planning to do this afternoon after the session? So really what we're doing is we are honouring this time together, this time for yourself with no responsibilities, no to-do lists, just really time for self-care, which is so incredibly important. And I also would like to kind of highlight how we're coming together as a community here. And that's so important too. Sometimes talking about self-care can actually feel like a big responsibility for us on our own, knowing that we need to do it, and it becomes another kind of thing on the to-do list. But there's something about doing this together, supporting each other to help ourselves and each other. There's something really powerful in community care as well. Good. So we're going to let go of the sighing breath. And then let's do a little bit of breathing and counting. So we're going to inhale for a count of 4 and out for a count of 6. In for 4, out for 6. Seeing if you can breathe in and out through the nose. The nose helps us to warm the air that we breathe, clean it, and humidify it, adding moisture to it before it comes to our lungs. And if those kind of counts feel too long, you can always adjust them. So you may want to do in for 3 and out for 5. Just see what's comfortable for you, so that it shouldn't feel forceful or, like it's a strain. And if your mind wanders off, because that's what minds do, just gently bringing yourself back to the practice. We're breathing in for 4 and out for 6. And the next time you come to the end of your out breath, just letting go of that practice. And let's just start bringing some movement back to the body. Okay, so we're going to work through all the joints in the body from your toes all the way up to your head. Okay, and this is our warm up, which I often do as very similar. So you'll get to learn some of these exercises by heart. So hopefully in time, you'll be able to keep your eyes closed and just follow my voice. And then you can really allow yourself to drop down into more like a movement meditation, which is really lovely for the nervous system. So let's straighten the right leg. So your right leg is flat along the floor. We're going to keep the right ankle at 90 degrees and we're going to move just the toes. So keeping that ankle at 90, we're inhaling, bending the toes. Exhale, draw your toes back towards your head. Inhale, fist with the toes. Exhale, draw those toes back. Inhale, bending. Exhale, draw back. Keeping your left knee pointing to the ceiling. So we're keeping that activity in that left leg. Inhale, bend the right toes. Exhale, draw them back. So just carrying on with that practice in your own time. Bringing curiosity to the practice. What does it feel like in your toes right now as you move them through their full range? Our poor little toes just get stuffed in the ends of our shoes, particularly at this time of the year. So it's really nice to give them this time to really stretch and move more freely. And then releasing your toes and just noticing how they feel. How do your right toes feel in comparison to your left? And then we're going to bend your right leg up, foot flat on the floor, straighten your left leg. Good. Left ankle remains at 90 degrees. Inhale, bend the toes. Exhale, draw the toes back towards your head. Inhale, fist with the toes. Exhale, draw those toes back. Inhale, fist. Exhale, draw back. Keep going in your own time. As we start stretching the fascia, that lovely connective tissue that covers all of the joints, all of the muscles, all of the organs of the body. And it can really get tight and stiff, particularly if there's any scar tissue. But it's always a good idea to start working with the smaller joints and then moving towards the bigger joints as we work with this myofascial system. Good, releasing those toes. How does the left toes feel in comparison to the right now? Then we're going to bend that leg back up. So we're back in our starting position, and then we're going to straighten your right leg towards the ceiling. And here you might want to take hold of a strap if it feels hard to keep your leg up in that position. So you might want to bring the strap behind the back of your leg and just keep your upper arms against the floor if you need to have that extra support. Then we're going to inhale, point the toes. Exhale, draw the toes back towards your head. So now we're getting a nice stretch through the back of the calf. We're really supporting the lymphatic fluid by using the calf muscle as a muscle pump, getting that fluid flowing back to the heart for drainage. And it's great to know that when we're moving like this, or any of our practice throughout the whole practice, we're getting our lymphatic system to be working 2 to 3 times quicker than when we're resting. So it's a very supportive thing to do for the lymphatic system to get moving. Good. And then releasing that leg down, and then we'll change sides. Left leg comes up towards the ceiling, popping a strap behind the left thigh if you need to. Inhale, point the toes. Exhale, draw your toes back towards your head. And again, we're going to feel that stretch of the fascia. So it's the fascia that's stretching. You can feel that stretch all the way down the back of the leg. That's the fascia, because our nerve endings sit within it. So when we're stretching like that, you'll feel it probably all the way down the back of the leg. Good. Gently releasing that leg down. Noticing how the legs are starting to feel. And then let's take our right knee and hug it into our right armpit. Keeping your left knee pointing to the ceiling, let's circle the toes in one direction. So we're getting some nice rotation into the ankle joint here. And then the other way. And then releasing. And we'll change sides. So let's lift our left knee towards our left armpit, hugging it in. So we're getting into the hip joint as well here. Circling the toes in one direction. Our right knee is pointing to the ceiling, not falling out to the side. Circles. Can you draw circles with your toes in one direction? And then changing direction. Really nice. Well done. And then let's release that foot back down towards the floor. Really nice. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of rotation in the hips. So we're going to take the hands out to the sides, shoulder height, palms facing up, arms are straight. And then I really want you to start with micro movements. So we're going to just gently take the knees to one side and then the other. Okay, and this is going to be kind of getting some rotation into the spine. We're working into the hips. And then those knee sways can get a little bit bigger. Remembering it always needs to be comfortable. Okay, we never push it into pain. And if that feels nice and you're like, yeah, getting some kind of rotation, this is really good if you ever have like muscle spasms in the back. It can really help to reduce spasms. I would like you to start rolling the head. So we can, when our knees go to the left, we can roll our head to the right. When our knees go to the right, we can roll the head to the left. So you're getting a little bit of a spinal twist here through the whole body. Good. And you're just doing it in like a very slow, controlled way. So we never kind of flop the knees from one side to the other. We're kind of keeping control. We're holding on to the legs. Starting to massage through the spine. Good. And then coming back to center. Head facing up towards the ceiling, releasing the hands by your side, hugging your knees into your chest, and then rocking from side to side here. Good. And then coming back to center. Now, if this is this is something that you can leave out if you have any neck issues. We might want to hug the forehead towards the knees, just hugging into a little ball and then releasing down. Okay, nice. Let's come into a little bit more dynamic movement in the legs. So we're going to pedal your right leg forward now. You're on your bike, pedaling with one side. So we're just pedaling forward with your right leg. Engaging your core here now helps to protect your lower back. So I want you to try and keep a neutral spine. So that means you've got a curve in the lower back. So we're not losing control of the spine here. So drawing your belly button back towards your spine, pulling up on the pelvic floor really helps to keep the spine in alignment here. And then let's back pedal there. So you're reversing the direction. And here we're really getting into the hips and the knees. And there's a little squish of the belly as your knee comes towards your chest. So that's going to be lovely for the digestive system. And really, we're really stimulating the joints here to release synovial fluid, okay? And that's where we get that lovely lubrication of the cartilage on the ends of our bones. Good, let's release that leg down. And we'll do the same on the left leg. Pedaling forwards with your left. Right knee still points towards the ceiling. Engage the core. And then can we go the other way? Good, releasing that leg to the floor. Just noticing how they feel. Can we keep the feet flat on the floor and then just really shake your legs out? So seeing if you can get that sensation of like shaking your muscles away from the bones. Good. Let's bring the legs together so that the legs are connected in the midline. I'm going to bring our fingertips behind our ears and our elbows to touch in front. We're now going to open the elbows, open the knees as you inhale. And as you exhale, close the knees, close the elbows. Good. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Really getting into the lymph nodes in the groin and the armpit. So this is going to really help flush the lymphatic fluid through because we're changing the pressure there. Let's do one more. And releasing your arms down by your sides. Good. Taking your feet hip width apart again. So let's come into a little bit of core work. Okay, so I think it's nice always to kind of practice like just making sure that we're getting our core contracting, because it's quite common to be using the six-pack muscle. So we've got lots of layers of muscle on our abdomen. And the top layer is that six-pack muscle, okay? And often when we think we're contracting our core, we're actually contracting this six-pack muscle, because the core actually is very deep. So it's under layers of other muscle, and it looks like a big corset around our abdominal area, around our trunk, okay? And the only place that we can actually like feel it working is if we find the pointy bits at the front of our hips, and we go in about 2 centimeters towards the belly button. So as long as that's comfortable for you to put pressure there, then maybe just putting a little bit of pressure in that spot. So it's a couple of centimeters towards the belly button from the pointy bits at the front of the hips, and have a cough there whilst you're there. Can you feel a contraction of muscle underneath? So that's your core. That's transversus abdominis. That's what it's called. So I would keep your finger there, and then let's see if we can engage the core using our technique. So we're going to inhale, and as you exhale, draw your belly button gently back towards your spine and pulling up on the pelvic floor as if stopping yourself pee mid-flow. Now keep holding that contraction, but keep breathing. This is the key. And then release it off. So if you're using the six-pack muscle, you won't be able to keep breathing. So, if you're muted, then maybe counting out loud is a really good way, because we have to be breathing to be able to speak. We'll do it again. Inhale, exhale, belly button back towards the spine, pulling up on the pelvic floor, holding that contraction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let it be soft. So that's a really great way to really check in and see if you've got the right muscles working. So now hopefully you've got a block, a yoga block. So we're going to take our yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, that's absolutely fine. You might want to use a cushion and fold it up, so it's about the same width as a yoga block, and we're going to pop it between the knees. So imagining that your yoga block is a lovely book, and the front cover is facing towards you. You're going to pop that between the legs. Okay, and there's something about squeezing the block with the legs that actually helps us to isolate the core. So we're going to inhale together, and as you exhale, you're going to gently squeeze the block as you draw your belly button back towards the spine, as you pull up on the pelvic floor, holding that contraction. 3, 2, 1, and then release it and let it be soft and let go of that squish of the block or cushion or whatever you're using. Good, let's do that again. Inhale. As you exhale, belly button draws back towards the spine. Squeeze the block, pull up on the pelvic floor. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1, and then let it be soft. So again, you know, it's as important to learn to let your core go as it is to contract it, because we need our core to be relaxed most of the time. But when we go to do something, so maybe we're picking something up, then we want our core to engage. So we need it to be able to be relaxed so that when we need it, it will fire up. Okay, so let's try that one more time here. Inhale. Exhale, belly button back towards your spine. Squeeze the block. 3, 2, 1, and then release. Good. You can pop the block to one side again. Very well done. Good. So let's focus on the core now as we move into some bridging. So I invite you to bring your elbows tucked into your sides and your fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Okay, and there's gonna be different variations here. So either we can inhale, lift the pelvis straight up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, we're going to engage the core so that you can lower the pelvis vertebra by vertebra back to the floor. That's on the exhalation. So we always contract the core on the exhalation. If you want to take it a little bit further, we inhale, the pelvis comes up. And as you exhale, I want you to just gently sway the pelvis from side to side. So you're almost taking your tailbone to the left and the right of the mat as you come slowly down to the ground. So choosing which is right, I call it yogi's choice, which one feels right for you today. So we inhale as we rise, and we exhale as we engage the core and lower. And I really like to visualize my pelvis coming down, almost like a feather floating back down towards the earth. Inhale, lifting up. You could also imagine maybe you're kind of salsaing the hips, so you're getting a bit more like a figure of 8 pattern coming down. So just see what kind of works for you. But please take rest whenever you need to. If you're only lifting your pelvis off the floor a centimetre, that's still amazing. And there's, you know, we can just keep working towards kind of these things, and there's no rush. Really, there's no rush. It's about listening to the body and progressing gently. Good. Let's do one more, but if you're needing to take rest, that's really fine. And knowing that within any part of today's practice, that you can take rest whenever you need to. So don't ever feel like you have to, if your body's saying that it needs to stop. You can always come into a resting pose. Good. When your pelvis reaches the floor, wiggling your hips from side to side now. So just releasing any tension that may have built in the lower back. Wiggling it out. And this again is that shaking of the body is always really good after we've done something that maybe has worked us a little bit harder. Maybe those cortisol levels rise a little bit. Let's just shake it out. Come back to regulation. Great. So we're going to start moving up into the upper body now. So we're going to take our hands onto our shoulders, and we're back in our semi-supine, so our feet are hip width apart, and circling the elbows in one direction. So your hands are on your shoulders. We're starting small circles, and then the circles can get bigger and bigger. And we're going to get the other way. Good. Going in that other direction. Lovely. Just releasing those shoulders and then releasing the hands down by the side. We were going to do a Joanne request, which was a little bit of a piriformis stretch. So we're going to come back down to just release the buttocks a little bit. So piriformis stretch is our figure of 4. So we're going to take our outside of our right ankle onto the top of our left knee. Okay, so this is a really good one to stretch some of the muscles in the buttocks, which can get really tight. So from here, either you might just want to pop your foot up onto a yoga block or 2. That might feel like enough. If you want to get more of a stretch, hugging the left knee in towards your chest, you might want to take hold of behind the leg. You might want to use a strap behind the thigh. You know, props are so helpful. The top ankle, so your right ankle wants to be at 90 degrees here. You're going to really isolate that piriformis muscle. So for some of us, the piriformis muscle has the sciatic nerve running through it. And so if it gets tight, we can have symptoms of sciatica. So this is a really, really good stretch to do regularly and to hold for a little bit, because it can be quite a stubborn muscle to release and lengthen. But always for me, it's about, instead of kind of holding something statically and really pushing, it might be more that you kind of start doing a little bit of a rock with the body side to side. So you're just gently kind of easing into it rather than pushing and holding.
Sorry, I've got a visitor.
There's a dog in everybody's picture.
Oh, sorry.
I love it. Good. The dogs know what's good. Right, and then let's gently release that leg down, and we'll do the same on the other side. Just noticing the difference between your right and left now. And then let's take the outside of the left ankle on top of the right knee, hugging your right knee in towards your chest now, and seeing what you need. It might be that you're just putting your foot onto a block or 2. You might be able to take hold of behind of your right leg. And if you're noticing that there's quite an experience, should we say, deep stretch, maybe just seeing if you can take the breath to those tight structures, to those tight tissues. So breathing in, breathing into the tightness, and as you exhale, just seeing maybe if there's a little bit more stretch there, but not ever pushing. And is it that you want to maybe rock a little bit from side to side as you do it? Top ankle, that left ankle's at 90 degrees. Good. And then releasing. And again, let's hug the knees to the chest and rock from side to side. Good. So from here, let's roll over onto our sides, and we're just gently going to come up to all 4. So take your time, there's absolutely no rush.
Don't go on. Go downstairs. Sit.
So coming onto all 4s. So your knees are directly under your hips, your hands are directly under your shoulders. This is tabletop position, okay? So from here, this is a really great place to practice our core contraction. Okay, so we're going to inhale.
Downstairs.
As you exhale, I'm just going to just mute there. There we go. We're going to just feel the difference here between our belly being soft, so the core relaxed, so just letting your belly hang towards the floor. And then we're going to inhale together. And as you exhale, can you draw your belly button back towards your spine? Feel kind of the contents of your abdomen lifting up towards the ceiling. And then again, releasing, let it be soft, let the belly hang down. Inhale together. And as you exhale, engaging the core, so your belly button draws back towards your spine, you pull up on the pelvic floor, holding that. So we're really working on just developing strength in the spine, and then release. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale, keeping the spine flat, draw your belly button back towards the spine, pull up on the pelvic floor. 3, 2, 1, and release and let it be soft. Good. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of bird dog. Now, just being really mindful, like what feels right for you today. So there's different kind of levels here. So we could either be working on the core and reaching back with one leg and then the other. Or we can be working through the diagonal and we could reach forward with the left hand and back with the right foot. So this is bird dog. So just thinking, where am I at today? What feels right for me? And the key thing here is that we want to keep the spine flat, as if there was a tray of teacups on your back and you didn't want those teacups. Didn't want the teacups to fall over. Okay, so just imagining you've got that tray and you just don't want anything to fall off. So when we move the legs or the arms, that spine, that tray stays stable. Okay, so let's inhale together. And as you exhale, either just the leg or leg and arm. So left hand, right leg, reach back. Good, inhaling. And we come back to our starting position. Core is soft. Inhale. Exhale, engage the core, doing the same but on the other side. So right hand forward, left leg back, or just left leg. Keeping that tray safe. And then bringing the hand back. Now you can carry on in your own time with your own breath rhythm, and we can just carry on as if we were marching. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. So you might just want to be doing one leg and then the other. And what we're working on is keeping the core strong and the back in a nice straight position. And your gaze could just be just a little bit ahead of your hands. So we're not arching the neck, we're keeping the spine long. Take rest whenever you need to. So we're inhaling as the hand comes back, but exhaling as we reach out. Good. And then releasing off and just coming, if it's comfortable for you, just coming on into kneeling or high kneeling. And we're going to work into the wrists, because the wrists take quite a lot of weight there and it can be quite strenuous for the wrists. So I'm going to turn around so you can see me. So we're going to take our thumbs inside a loosely closed fist and we're going to circle. So the arms are at shoulder height, circling the wrists in one direction. And then the other. And then straightening the fingers. We're going to keep working into the arms. Okay, so shoulders come back and down. We're going to circle the arms forwards. Good. And then back. Good. Releasing the arms by the side and flick, 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 flick. Wonderful. All right, let's take our time to come up into standing. So there's absolutely no rush. Take the time, allow your blood to come to your head because we spent quite a little time down. You're just clearing your space now and maybe being somewhere where you can take hold of some support. So you might want the chair. Let me just make sure that you guys can see all of me. Or a wall. So we're going to do a little bit of balance work. So what do you need? Okay. So let's just start in our mountain pose. So just taking a moment to come into a posture where we're really in a biomechanically aligned, healthy posture. Okay, so it's when we know that our joints are stacking on top of each other in a way that means that our body and all of those unconscious processes can be working optimally. And it also means we're going to strengthen our body better because the joints are working more efficiently and we're less likely to injure ourselves. So let's just take a moment to remember that. So our feet are hip width apart. Maybe just allow yourself to sway a little bit forwards and back. Just feeling the weight transfer from the front of the foot to the back of the foot. Good. And then side to side, so from the left foot to the right foot, and kind of rolling through the walls of the feet there as well. And then coming back to center where you feel equally weighted, right foot, left foot, front, back. Then we're going to come up through the ankles to the knees. So just checking that your knees are not locked. We're just off lock. And that's going to mean that the muscles are engaging. They're having to work. We're not hanging off our joints. And then coming up to our hips, just checking that you've got a nice curve in your lower back. So just maybe reaching behind yourself and feeling, oh yes, I've got a nice curve there. And that's about testing, has your tailbone really tucked under? Is it pushing really far back? Finding neutral, finding where the tailbone is just soft. You can imagine, sometimes I like to imagine that I've got a third tail. So it's almost like if I was, I'm stand sideways on, if I was a T-Rex, two strong feet, and I've got a big tail that comes out behind me, and that tail touches the floor behind me. It's almost like I've got a third leg. So that's sometimes quite nice to imagine that. Can you swish your dinosaur tail? So that means that the tailbone is not tucked under, not totally pushed back, but it's just free to move like that. That's quite a nice practice there. So then we're going to lengthen up through the spine, out through the top of the head. We're going to open through the front of the chest. So our shoulders gently reach back and down. Okay. And then just checking that you're not holding excessive tension in the face. So just kind of nodding the head there. So as I always say, like, can we press safe now at a cellular level and a muscle in that kind of muscle memory of how it feels to stand in this healthy alignment right now? Yeah, life pulls us forwards, kind of physically, in the fact that our eyes are on the front of our heads and all the things that we do tend to be in front of us, but also emotionally, we often get pulled forwards. Okay, so we round forwards to protect ourselves. So this is a really nice empowering posture to kind of come back into that strength. Good. And then from here, if your eyes were closed, just gently opening the eyes. So we're going to come into something called the fearlessness kriya. Okay. So we're going to come into a little bit of a squat as we reach the arms up. So we're going to inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms up. And then we're going to bring our hands into fists and tuck them into our sides like that. Okay, that's our inhale. And as we exhale, we're turning the hands to a stop sign and we're going to blow out. Good. Inhale, arms rise, bottom comes back and down. Tuck the elbows in. Exhale, push away. Inhale, knee bend, tuck in, push out. So when we're inhaling, really gathering in courage. And then we exhale, we're pushing away the fear. Good. Inhale. Courage coming into the body. Exhale, pushing away anything that's not serving you. Inhale. Tuck those elbows into your sides. Exhale, push away. So it's nice to breathe in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Now, if this feels hard work, just do a micro bend of the knees. But really visualizing what you're pushing away, visualizing what you're drawing in. Do one more, but take rest if you need. Really nice. And then shaking it out. Shake, 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 shake. That's built some heat up in my body. I'm going to take my t-shirt off. Although now I'm attached to my own jumper. Excuse me. Okay. From here, we're going to take our feet a little bit wider. So like almost not quite that your toes are pointing to the corner of your mat. It's kind of like a 10 to 2 here, but the legs are a little bit wider. And we're going to come into a little dancer's pose, which is really quite nice. So we're going to bring the arms above the head. Really think about posture again. So checking that you're not shooting the lower ribs out. Okay, here. And we're just maybe watching first time. So from here, we're going to start and then we inhale and we come down. And I really want you to track your hand with your eyes. Okay, so you're really looking as we bend and we bring your right hand to rest on your right thigh, sorry. Okay, and we exhale to come back up. Okay, inhale, bend. The left hand comes to the left thigh, tracking it with our side, inhaling, coming up. Inhale, down, right hand, looking, exhale, up. Good, inhale, left hand, looking there, exhale, up. Good. So as we inhale, we have a soft core looking to the right. Exhale, engage the core to bring you back up to stand. Good. Tracking your knees over your toes. So normally that means we need to draw the knees a little bit back. Good. So this is our dancer's pose. But we're really looking at where the hand is going. We're turning our head fully to look over that to the side that we are moving the arm. And again, you can do little micro bends. You don't have to hardly bend the legs if that's feeling like hard work. Good. Let's do one more to each side, but take rest if you need. That looks so nice, everybody. Good. And then next time the hands are up in the air, straighten the legs and draw a big circle, like a big sun around you. Really, really, really nice. Good. And then heel, toe, the feet back in. Okay, let's straighten that up. So whilst we're standing here, I'm just going to do a little bit of energy work with you. So let's rub the hands together as quickly as you can. I want you to build up some heat in the hands. And when it feels like you've got lots of heat, if it's comfortable for you to close down your eyes or just have a soft gaze, that's great. We're going to draw the shoulders back and down. Okay, and we're just going to inhale, taking the hands about a few millimeters apart as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to take the hands back together. So the hands are in a prayer position in front of the chest. We're inhaling, opening the hands. Exhale, close them. And each time you inhale, seeing if you can take the hands a little bit further apart. As it gets further and further, maybe making the hands into a cupping, kind of a cup shape. So you're almost like you're cradling this ball of energy that you've created. Inhaling, open, exhale, close. And with practice, you'll probably start to feel the magnetic pull of the energy between your hands as the hands come back together, and almost like you're stretching elastic band as you take the hands apart. So for me, this is just a really beautiful practice of remembering that we are bundles of energy. Inhaling, opening the hands, exhale, the hands come back towards each other. Really nice. Doing that one more time. How big can that ball of energy go? Bringing the hands back together. Maybe play with it. Like, can you like feel how you can, as it comes back, maybe take it, you're coming back towards center, but maybe come out a little bit. Can you play with that energy a little bit? That ball of energy gets bigger and smaller. And then bringing your hands over your heart space just for a moment. So bringing that energy to your heart now. Feeling your heart beating under your hands. Good, and then releasing off. Good. We're going to just come into a little bit of a stretch for the side body, including the ITB band. Okay, so we're going to just stretch and step your left leg in front of your right, so you're kind of going across. Now, if you feel like your balance is challenged, then grab hold of something. So it might be that you're stood by a chair to do this, holding the back of the chair. So just noticing what you need balance-wise. And then from here, let me see. We're taking our left leg is in front, and then our left arm comes up towards the ceiling. So we're reaching up, and then can you reach over? So just working out like where do you want to put your leg, so you're getting a nice deep stretch through the side of the body here. Good. Reaching up, reaching over. Maybe imagining your top hand is like seaweed, so you're kind of like stretching it, maybe kind of coming into a figure of 8 with that top hand. Letting that left hip really fall out to the left side. You're going to get more of a stretch through the side of the body here. Can you feel that in your ITB, Joanne? Just give me a thumbs up if it's getting there, nearly. It's really difficult to stretch the ITB, really. And then releasing and changing sides. Shake that side out. Then we're going to bring your stabilize through your left leg, step your right foot in front of your left, and then reaching up and over. So we're kind of almost banana shaping the body. And then you could use that top hand, maybe like seaweed, as it floats, playing with the air with your fingertips. Up and over. Do, do, do. Let your right hip fall out to the side a bit more. You can also do this in lying on your back as well. It's worth trying that as well. And then releasing off. Good. Let it all out. Shake it out. Have one last good old shake. Good. And then we're going to finish our practice today in lying. So we'll come down to do our Shavasana, our relaxation pose. We've got a few minutes left. So just getting yourself comfortable lying on your back. I would always suggest that you put something under your knees to support your lower back, so never having your legs totally straight or flat, sorry. So something supporting under the knees. You've got a lovely something under your neck that's keeping your head, neck and spine in alignment. So you don't want something that's pushing your head too far forwards. Equally, you don't want to feel like your head's falling backwards. Making sure you're going to be warm. And it's sometimes nice, if it's comfortable for you, to put something over your eye area. So kind of blocking the light out. That can allow you to drop into a deeper relaxation quicker. So I'll just talk you through a little relaxation here. So releasing and letting go, letting the body be completely held by the support underneath you. So no effort is needed now. You've worked really hard through today's session, gifting your body with so much precious movement. Now is the time where the body absorbs the effect of today's practice into every healthy cell in the body. So just maybe scanning through your body for a moment, noticing if you're holding tension. The classic places where we hold tension are our jaw, so maybe wiggling the jaw a little bit, having a yawn if that comes, softening the brow, so no furrows in the brow, letting your pelvis soften and widen, so releasing any holding in the pelvic floor or the buttocks. Releasing any clenching in the hands, so allowing the hands to just open. Maybe now bringing your attention to the breath. Feeling how your breath almost breathes your body. How the breath massages the body from the inside out. Taking a moment now to visualize yourself lying there on your mat. What surrounds you in the space that you're in, just by making a mental picture of that. Take a moment to notice where your body's making contact with the floor. Maybe back of the head, shoulder blades, pelvis, heels. And then gently bringing some movement into the body, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, stretching and yawning as you might do after a deep sleep. And I'll always do this as the invitation for those of you that don't need to kind of get on with anything right now to take more rest. Power naps are gold. So yeah, there's the invitation to stay resting now. But if you need to get on, then gently bending the knees up and rolling onto your most comfortable side. And when you get onto your side, just taking a nice big sighing breath there, in through the nose, sighing out through the mouth, and coming up into sitting. And then if you'd like to, we can close the practice by just bringing the hands in front of the heart, shoulders draw back and down. Dropping your head to your heart, so really bowing your head to your heart now. And sending yourself like genuine gratitude for making the effort to get on your mat today. So I know that's not always easy. Really thanking yourself for this gift of movement, connecting with your breath and hopefully your inner self amidst the busyness of our lives. And I thank you all for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Wishing you all a lovely rest of your day. Go gently, drink plenty of water. And yeah, if you can have a power nap, I would highly recommend.